So you want downward dog to feel better. I hear you. It can be intense. Let's look at the position, and you can kind of decide from there where you want to put your efforts. It could be both things that we're going to look at. It could be just one of these items. So let's say you're somewhere here. Your heels are down long, but you cannot drive your chest back to your thighs and get your ears between your biceps, right? So this position right here shows me that, or somewhere in here, anything less than bicep next to ear is showing me that you need to work on your shoulder flexion. Second part of it is, let's say you're good and biceps can get on either side of the ears, but you cannot get those heels down. You cannot get your tail untucked. See how round I am right here? So can you get your tail to stick to the sky and then also plant your heels down? If that's feeling like the tight spot there, then we work on hamstring mobility at that stretched out length. There's many other things that we could focus on. So we're jumping over some steps, but I think it's still valuable to try. So for shoulder flexion, I'm going to do this one first. Elevate yourself so that when you stretch your arm out, you're kind of mimicking that position you had when you did your downward dog. And if this isn't challenging enough, you can always drop your chest to the floor, but let's assume that you're working here to start. And then a yoga block on your forehead might be nice, or you can just make a fist and let your head rest there. Okay, so to get set up, I want you to take a breath in through the nose. Exhale, draw those low ribs and belly button in, tuck your tail under so you're nice and light here against the ground or your object. And then lift your fist off the floor. Keep the elbow straight and strong. In fact, punch out like you're shooting lasers out of your knuckles here. And then let's draw some circles. Try to go as far up as you can, and then keep that circle small. And keep those ribs light on your block or on the floor. And then switch direction, circle the other way. Good. 2 more. Nice. And then one little bonus challenge. I want you to do an axial rotation. So keeping your arms straight and strong. See if you can spiral your arm one way and then the other. So I'm going to get up close to the camera here. So I'm pulling my bicep toward the sky, and then I'm pulling my bicep down toward the floor. Check that you're moving through this glenohumeral joint and not just spinning the wrists or the fist. 2, last one, and release it. Yeah? I'm feeling some work, yes? So that's exactly what we're doing, is we're stretching into this overhead position that we have control of and then building strength in that range. We're typically weakest at our most stretch out points. You may also require some plain old flexibility training, which you could also do by gliding back to child's pose or some other offloaded position, standing with your hands on a counter maybe, and just gliding into this position and letting your body stretch too if you're feeling really wound up. All right, second thing we're going to work on is working on building strength in this lengthened hamstring position. When we're sitting on the floor, stretching out our hamstrings, it's passive. We've got the floor to support us. We've got this load that's just flopping over, and we're just getting a stretch. That's good, especially if you're working in this position and you're not yet upright. Spend some time stretching before you get into this. Once you're done with that, you can start working on that by popping one heel up onto a stool, a chair, a bench, whatever you've got, a step. The higher the object, the quicker you're going to get into that stretch point. Wherever you go, I want you to be able to get out of this rounded low back posterior pelvic tilt and into an anterior pelvic tilt. So stick that booty out, okay? Then bury the ribs to compensate. So you've got a nice long line from your tail to your crown. This is just what I'm using for a little more stability. If you have furniture nearby, it's probably going to be easier than driving a stick into the floor. Then all we're doing is testing out this stretch by trying to lift our heel off the block. Okay, so I could go a little deeper. If you get any space at all, you can probably get a little deeper into your stretch. If you got no movement, then you're in the right place. we're gonna work on getting strong while we're stretched here. So the first thing I'm gonna ask you to do is start to anchor down with, imagine I've got another stick in this hand, with both arms and that standing leg, and then start to correspondingly drive the heel into your bench, block, chair, whatever it is. And continue ramping up the effort until you could go as hard as you can in the next 3, 2, 1. Now you're driving in as hard as you can. Keep driving. You feeling this work? Yes. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Don't move your body except try to lift your leg off that bench again. It doesn't go anywhere. This isn't isometric, but try. Keep pulling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Bang out any cramping. Take a breath. Exhale. From here, you'd hit it again, driving in first, trying to lift up second. If you're getting space, once again, that means you've got to get lower. We're working on the biggest stretch point here, because if you're working outside of that range, you're never going to get stronger in that big stretch point that you're getting yourself into in your downward dog, and your heels will never get closer to the ground. I mean, they might, but this will work so well helping you get your heels to the ground, okay? So give those 2 a shot, whichever one resonates with what you assessed at the beginning, and I hope you get some progress. Please reach out if you have any questions or any clarifications that you want. Thanks for joining.